my name is Krista Corgatelli, and today we're going to look at the narrative review of the effects of a greater than 12 weeks evidence-based prediabetes prevention program compared to a less than 12 weeks evidence-based prediabetes prevention program on achieving and maintaining 5 to 7% total body weight loss, an HbA1c of less than 5.7, increasing fiber intake, and maintaining their post-study weight loss at 6 months in adults aged 45 years and older. As this study focuses on people ages 45 years and older, the information recommendations that are given will be made for this specific age group. Okay, so on to our objectives. We're going to first introduce prediabetes and the danger it presents. Then we will present the current research on the reduction of risk for prediabetes. After that, we will look at the primary research question, as well as the research parameters, and then we'll explore the research findings and take an in-depth narrative look at the 10 included articles. Following that, we will look at the research findings relevant to the primary research question, and finally, we'll discuss the results and implications of these findings. The picture off to the right here, it shows our little puzzle pieces that these objectives are going to achieve and fill in the gap for meeting them. To introduce our main issue, it's prediabetes, and prediabetes is a serious but potentially reversible health condition where a person's cells do not normally respond to insulin, but their HbA1c is not high enough to be classified as type 2 diabetes, or in this case, you'll see T2DM as an abbreviation. 1 in 3 American adults are prediabetic. 90% of these people are unaware. The danger of remaining in a prediabetic state is that the damage to the heart and kidneys may occur even in an asymptomatic individual. This state can also increase the risk of complications such as blindness, amputations, and the risk of developing diseases such as cardiovascular and renal diseases. Finally, it may result in progression to type 2 diabetes, which is the 7th leading cause of death in the United States. So this sounds pretty serious, and we want to resolve or help provide people a resolution. Some of the risk factors, clicked ahead. Go back. Some of the risk factors for prediabetes include being overweight or obese, ages 45 years and older, a family history of type 2 diabetes, having a personal history of gestational diabetes, having a poor diet, physical activity, if someone is of certain ethnicities, and poverty also plays a factor. Determinants impacting the development and progression of prediabetes, such as perceived lack of time, may lead to a prioritization of convenience or need over nutrition. These choices can lead to diets that are low in nutrients and fiber, but high in calories, sodium, saturated fats, and added sugars. These dietary and lifestyle choices may could increase the risk of diseases such like prediabetes and obesity, which currently affects 78 million adults in the United States. And so the picture on the left here shows us the numbers for diabetes and what to watch for. 99 is normal. Prediabetes, which is kind of what we're looking at, is 100 to 125, and 126 or more is diabetic. So we wanted to avoid those numbers. Okay. Now on to the next slide. Okay, so in order to reduce or prevent the incidence and severity of prediabetes, several states have evaluated the use of a lifestyle change program, working on food and exercise instead of metformin and drugs to reduce the severity of prediabetes in adult populations. Many lifestyle programs have shown that a weight loss of 5 to 7% can lower the risk of developing prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, as well as the associated risks, and lower the risk of obesity and increase healthy behaviors such as increasing fiber intake and post-study weight maintenance. However, few studies have evaluated the impact program duration and report these impacts within the context of evidence-based frameworks. Current research has evaluated the impact of differing methods, frameworks, and program duration of nutrition education and behavioral change curricula on weight reduction, HbA1c levels, fiber intake, and post-study weight maintenance in prediabetic adults ages 45 and older. The following question was used to create a comparison of current information that will help determine the best practices for future design and implementation of effective diabetes intervention programs. Okay, so this picture shows 2 common interventions like we mentioned before. The question is, which is the better option? And in some cases, they found that both are actually very good options. Okay, so this brings us to the primary research question. So the primary research question is broken out for you to see here pretty clearly. It asks, how does a greater than 12 weeks evidence diabetes 12-week evidence-based prediabetes prevention program compared to a less than 12 weeks evidence-based prediabetes prevention program on 5 to 7% weight loss, HbA1c reduction to less than 5.7, increasing fiber intake, and maintaining post-study weight loss. Okay, so to answer that, we are going to move on to our methodology. How we looked for these studies. To look at this, you'll see a complicated table coming up. It's kind of hard to see all of it, especially with my image in the way. I'm going to move this off to the side. Okay, and so you're looking at the inclusion criteria for the study and the exclusion criteria as well, and the general criteria for both. Okay, the complete PubMed search strategy was located under the tutorial under the PubMed search tab at the University of New England website. And the strategies were based on the primary research question, the A&D, EAL, and PRISMA frameworks. The DPP Research Group Study 2002 was established using the framework for the narrative review, and the first 5 searches kind of helped determine that the search criteria individually, each of the outcomes would be searched for separately. That'd be the best way to proceed at this point because none of them had been found together. The study, the DPP Research Study Group 2002, was included in the narrative review because it had a solid evidence-based framework. It provided a time frame and the structure for the study and body weight as an outcome of interest. No study that had an age range of less than 45 years old was included to make sure that the results were relevant, and the primary literature research databases that were used were PubMed, Scopus, ProQuest, Biomed Central, SpringerLink, ScienceDirect, EBSCOhost, JSTOR, Taylor Francis, Wiley Online, BioOne, Signal, and Sage Journal. The terms that were used in the literature search included mesh and non-mesh terms, and are listed in a key terms search table that we have available for you if you wish to see it. The PRISMA flow diagram is displayed here. You can see there was 460 articles that were searched, and there's 267 that were left after duplicates were removed, and after all of those had been rescreened, we were left with 257, and 10 were included in the study. The articles that met all the inclusion criteria and none of the exclusion criteria were critically appraised. The first article critically appraised was the DPP Research Study Group 2002, and this is just a good example of what we did. Okay, so we're going to come to these are the included articles. This is a study overview table. There is a lot of information, so to cut it down and make it reasonable for use for this presentation, I included a very general overview of what we found in, for the 12 weeks and less than 12 weeks, the interventions for both, the methods and the randomization, and the resulting conclusions of both the greater than 12 weeks and the less than 12 weeks studies. Okay. So, and it's kind of divided by our little images here. So, 7.5 test studies had an intervention of greater than 12 weeks, while 3 had less than 12 weeks. 3 studies had a time frame, and the rest varied from 4 sessions, had the same time frame, and the rest varied from 4 sessions to all the way up to an 8-year past intervention follow-up. All 10 studies evaluated the intervention of people 45 years and older who are at risk for prediabetes, had diabetes, or had type 2 diabetes with no other comorbidity. All the studies used evidence-based interventions, but only 2 specifically stated the theories that based the interventions on. 2 out of 7 studies used the ILL program. 3 out of 7 studies used, or sorry, 3 out of 7 studies used the ILL, 2 out of 7 used the DPP, and 2 out of 7 used other programs. And as far as less than 12 weeks, you're looking at 1 out of 3 used the DPP program, and 2 out of 3 used the other programs. Okay. There were 5 randomized control trials in the 12-week program, or the greater than 12-week program, and 2 have used other methods. In the less than 12-week program, 2 out of 3 were randomized, and 1 out of 3 were not randomized using other systems. One study showed that they could not come to any conclusions due to lack of resources and attendance. All 10 studies did have positive quality assessments. However, there were 6 studies that had extensive funding, which was noted as a potential source of bias, even though 8 studies clearly declared that there were no conflict of interest. Tables 1 and 2 in this narrative review was an overview of the methodology and conclusion of the 10 included studies, and that was the table I was talking about here. You can see they were just kind of condensed into this one little, much cleaner and easier to read table. Additionally, the previous slide very briefly addressed the bias and the conflicts of interest in study tables. Okay. Tables 3 and 4 are what we're going to talk about next. The lifestyle intervention lowered the risk of type 2 diabetes in the greater than 12-week programs. 2 out of 7 said that. And none of the studies, these 2 actually had clinical analysis done that would indicate that they would reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes development if they followed the lifestyle program, and none out of the less than 12 weeks program did that. So we're going to move on to tables 3 and 4, which were condensed into this particular table, or the next couple of slides, actually. This is addressing the primary research questions and their outcomes. Okay, so tables 3 and 4 focus on the evidence-based primary research question of outcome of interest of the 10 included articles, including the greater than 12 weeks and less than 12 weeks evidence-based prediabetes prevention program. Okay, so we're looking at the greater than 12 weeks and the less than 12 weeks tables for 5 to 7% weight loss and 5 to 7 or 5.7% loss of HbA1c for both studies, for both groups. Okay, so the diabetes prevention program met the 5%, and you can see the other ones. They had the McCurley also met it, but the others did not. So there was only 2 of them, and then 3 of them met, and the rest of them met other outcomes of weight loss. Here you can see that 3 of them met an HbA1c of their own desires, but they failed to meet the 5.7%. We'll summarize this here in a little bit. And here they met, again, the less than 12 weeks also did not meet. None of them actually met the 5 to 7% weight loss that we were looking for, nor did they meet the 5.7% HbA1c, or the reduction down to the 5.7% or 5.7 HbA1c. But they did see some weight loss, and they did see a reduction in HbA1c. It's just not quite what we were looking for. Okay. On to the fiber and weight maintenance and the reduction of, and this is the risks and best practices for, again, the greater than 12 weeks and the less than 12 weeks studies. None of the studies included or evaluate fibers and outcome, and Houston et al. 2015 reported a maintenance of weight loss, but not at 6 weeks. Okay, so all studies offered best practices, but only a diabetes prevention group, and Hugh Z 2017 actually calculated that risk like we talked about before. So in table 3, you can see Hugen and 2019 reported risk, no calculations of developing type 2 diabetes compared to table 4. In tables 5 and 6, we're going to look at the timelines, but you can see here that nobody reported that, and the actual reduction of risk here, the conclusions, they thought they saw reductions in risk, but they did not achieve. To further compare the studies, we looked at the length of studies and timelines. You can see that pretty much everybody had a length of study and a follow-up and total number of sessions in both your greater than 12 weeks and your less than 12 weeks interventions. You can see here the total number of total sessions. You can look at, you're looking at where most everybody had 12 weeks, 12 months, 1 year here, and sometimes they have 16 sessions, sometimes they'll have 3 sessions, sometimes they'll have weekly total sessions, and sometimes they'll have 4 sessions, bi-weekly sessions, so they get a total of 12 sessions. What really it comes down to is when you get on to the next slide, and you're looking at let's see here. Oh, sorry, that was on the previous slide. So when you look at this, you'll see that you'll have your sessions. Your total numbers here is 44 sessions, which is a good number of sessions, especially over the course of 12 months. But then you'll look here and you have, let's see here, 16 sessions, and you look at your 4 months. For this one actually went for 4 months, and they only had 4 sessions, 4 weeks and 4 sessions, 6 weeks, and this is 12 sessions. So they're some of them are a little similar. Some of them have 1 session every 3 months, so they only had a total, this one especially only had a total, the Hugh 2017 had an intervention, they only had 4 sessions total, so they had the same number as these sessions, but they did not have more. So moving on, here's kind of a summary. You're going to have the 7 out of 10 programs were greater than 12 weeks, 3 out of 10 were less. You're going to see 1 out of 7 reported a 5 to 7% weight loss, where 86% of the studies did not report the same, or did not meet that goal, and nobody met the goal of 5 to 7% reported weight loss. You'll see that, and then here, the HbA1c, you'll see that 3 out of 7 articles met the HbA1c, 7 did not, and then the rest of them did not actually record HbA1c. And then out of the 12-week program, you're going to see 3 out of 3 studies that did not meet that 5%, but they did show a HbA1c reduction. Vitamin intake, no study covered that, and the reduction of risk, and very few studies covered that. So in conclusion, a well-structured evidence-based 12 weeks prediabetes prevention program may have a greater likelihood on achieving the weight loss, 4 out of 7 studies, the HbA1c, 3 out of 7 studies, than a less than 12-week program, 0 out of 3 studies. There's not enough evidence in either group right now, but more research is being done on the 10 years out versus the current research that is done. The evidence grade of the study is considered fair based on the strengths of the systematic structure. Review structure is one of the strengths of the study, and the date range, we talked about that a second ago, is that is shorter than 5, or that's 5 years instead of 10 years, limits it, and the number of studies also limits. This study has helped us determine the gaps in the research, especially on fiber and the actual practice of being very specific and consistent with the weight loss and the expected weight loss and the expected results, and it's going to help us introduce us to newer methods. And so thank you for your attendance, and these are our references. If you have any questions, one more page, a couple more pages. There we go. And thank you.